We hardly know each other. Certainly not enough to discuss personal matters. A bit like the calm before a storm.
A pester? And did you learn how to lift the curse before you lunged at her, sword in hand?
A swallow. Seems we're headed the right way. What?
Ah! Ah!
Able to persuade Graham to go to the tower with you? Did you mention there was a pester involved? You may know about wine, but you remain quite unsophisticated otherwise. So much tramping over mountain paths, you're lucky I made it. This is awkward. I mean, I'd gladly help, but I have a few more things to tend to in this charming dunghole. Ho ho. And I always took you for a gentleman.
Uh-huh.
Alexander was studying the Catriona plague. I'll use his notes to produce medication, perhaps a cure, or at least a vaccine. All right, take them already. All right. Perhaps I wasn't completely honest, didn't quite toe the line, but I knew you'd manage. You're so manly and all. All right then. As a start, let's look for a way out of here.
All right, where's that swallow?
All the mages knew about it. Alexander was a highly regarded epidemiologist. Although Fyke Isle has a terrible reputation. None even dare go there. Perhaps there's nothing to worry about. An old elven port. And each time it does, you will think of me. And? It ended well. And more.
And now something special.
And that would be that. I knew we'd manage. And the laboratory. I sincerely hope you burnt everything. The cages, the corpses, the papers. And thus they stood o'er their queen, who slept beneath flickering stars. And you failed to notice. You're losing your touch. Be that as it may, Fyke Isle is free of its curse. That's important. I'm almost inclined to say good work. And you withheld this news until now. Why? I gave you a Xenovox. But the curse, what was its source?
Umgal Scamanach.
Another rift. Are you always like this? I'm beginning to feel sorry for Triss and Yen.
Are you coming?
Are you well and whole? I feared...
Ah! Ha! As fast as you can. Try to catch me.
As I said, you may keep it. I don't believe I shall need it anymore, given the Isle's been cleansed. At Aretusa, they trained me to detect even the subtlest magic pulses. This was like getting smacked across my haunches with a grain flail.
Azar, Anartha, Velos.
Because I grasped the importance of the studies conducted there. In the wrong hands, the findings could do immense harm. Before we go, there's one more thing. Besides, I know you think as I do, that she might be there. And I'd like to see Cyrilla too.
Hey, Nicola!
But I didn't say... But among the most difficult, correct? What happened on that island? Why, I shiver at the thought. But I could use a Prince Charming. It just so happens you're the only decent candidate in all Velen. So, what do you say to a moonlight ride on horseback? And dinner? But that's not what I wish to discuss. Thank you once again, Geralt, for your help with the tower. You were fabulous. But we came to find the elven mage, not fight the hunt. But we needed first to confirm that Ciri was here, didn't we? But what does the hunt want from him? But you know how elves are. He asked many more questions than he answered.
The Cain Gwyn Caethel.
Certainly hope we haven't lost our way. Ciri? Well, now I understand the secrecy, not to mention the brooding, the furled brow. And you say she had some sort of problem with a witch? Cyrilla is here. The girl once sought by the Lodge of Sorceresses, and practically every ruler on the continent has landed here in Velen, and I know nothing of it. What is she doing here? Claims in the village are that peasants, desperate of hunger, sailed to Fyke Isle to beg for food. Met their end there. It was a massacre, clearly. And I didn't even know the elves used them. Come, we might still catch them. Come here! Come now. Who aside from you would know that?
Come on!
Come on. Congratulations. You'd make an excellent jockey. Could you see what happened? The package is rather important to me. Crookback Bog. Cute. Thank you, I guess. All the best to you as well.
Darian Annoy!
Debatable. But let's not argue and ruin the mood. Did you see what he did with them? Did you think yourself the only witch or a sorceress could possibly take an interest in? Disgusting! Do I look like a dairymaid to you? Do you feel that? A flow of fresh air from the left must be an exit that way. Do you intend to venture into Crookback Bog? You must tell me about it afterwards.
Do you know the diseases they spread?
Do you really believe you can call me names and then revert to polite conversation just like that?
Do you think it's a mind game of some sort?
Doesn't help, does it? Don't be ridiculous. Bacteria cannot be controlled. Don't flatter yourself. I don't want to shag you in the bushes, but to share a pleasant evening. But if no, then no. Don't wince. It'll only be an illusion, won't hurt a bit. And at dawn, everything will return to normal.
Yeah!
Enough. I've had my fill for the day. Go home. Expect me to splash around in that sewage? Unlikely. I'll wait here.
Exterminate them, I beg you!
Extremely. That's why they're so rare. I certainly couldn't build anything like it. Farewell, Geralt. Or rather, see you soon. Farewell, Geralt of Rivia. I truly hope you find your Ciri.
Find him immediately. We're close to unravelling this. I can feel it.
For someone who usually trots around on a roach, that shouldn't present a challenge. Forgive me, but I'm not at all impressed. Found it in the mine along with the lamp.
Found me. Congratulations.
4 guardians, 4 flames, standing proud in a line. 4 guardians, 4 flames, standing proud in a line. The first to light his fire dared not march on the end. 4 statues, each like the other. Friends, with benefits.
Geralt! Geralt!
Geralt, just when I was starting to miss you. Geralt. You gave me quite a start.
Geralt, are you all right? Geralt, do something! They're crawling out of those holes!
Geralt, I shall help you.
Geralt, look! He's opening a passage! Geralt, look.
Geralt, stop. You needn't be so detailed.
Geralt, there are 2 types of men. Those who see opportunity and take advantage, and those who forge the opportunities themselves.
Geralt, what the hell is that?
Geralt? Are you on the Isle yet? Does the Xenovox work? Can you hear me? Geralt, can you hear me? How goes it? Where are you?
Geralt, I don't know what you did, but it worked. Come back here.
Geralty poo. Wipe that frown off your face, or I might think you don't like me anymore. Get out of my sight, before I give in to my urge to teach you some manners.
Get them off! Ah!
Give me a minute. I was never any good at the high variant of the elder speech. Go on, finish. Wait, you've got some special interest in the hunt. Is this about Ciri? There's something you've not told me, isn't there?
Good thing I came with you.
Greetings, Geralt. Greetings, Witcher.
Gavella Glan.
Very true. So, I've 2 options. I can either start cultivating turnips or leave.
Don't make me laugh.
Hardly. Now, focus.
Have a taste.
Have you gone completely mad? We must leave here at once. He awaits us. He didn't. And he wore a mask. Very secretive all around, but I liked him. He was intelligent and composed. He didn't say. He failed to foresee that someone like you would show up. He must have left it somewhere here. He'll make an exception for me. He'll have to. I have something he wants.
Here's something.
All right. This might seem a bit literal. I'm afraid I can't replicate its sophisticated internal rhymes. Good name for a horse. So, shall we look for it? I hope I'll be able to activate it. Let's leave this place, shall we?
Lit up like a charm.
Well, I never met him. But he certainly didn't seem such a cruel man, judging by what a mage from the Isle told me. Indeed. I do have this small favour to ask of you. Hope you didn't come to Gork. How about that? You changed your mind.
How many centuries can he have? This elf must be utterly paranoid.
How was the water? Horrid. I actually regret not going there with you. Perhaps we can make up for that lost time now.
I beg you, not another word about Zoogles.
I believe I greeted you with a pleasant view. Now tell me what brings you here. I brewed him a potion. To delay nervous tissue degeneration, stave off memory loss or some such. I can assure you I do. Now more than ever. I can't believe you'd think so poorly of me. Perhaps you do bear a grudge against sorceresses. I dare say this one, once sprung, would thrill you. Oh well. Change your mind, come and see me. I did, and still do. The Cursed Isle on Lake Windammer, you've heard of it, I'm sure. I didn't pick anything. In the north, Radovid's men hunt sorceresses like fish in a barrel. Nilfgaard controls the south. Where was I to flee? I dislike this place. Vehemently. I do wonder if the two of you will hit it off. I don't have time to debate this, Geralt. I'm going to see Radovid whether you like it or not. I don't like men who turn me down. I expected we might run into such things, so I brought this. I experienced an acute nasal hemorrhage. You stand to endure a wobble of your medallion at most. I failed to lift the curse, and they could conclude I'm not so great. Not enough to conceal me from the witch hunters and risk getting sent to the gallows themselves. I feel honoured. Truly. Well, I had no idea you meant them. If I'd told you something, you would have rushed off to find them. I hardly need instruction from you. I recognised the Vulpine Morel immediately.
I hate rats!
I knew you'd find it irresistible. Naturally, you'll need to sail to Fyke Isle. I know. We must go on.
I know the man. He lives in Oriton, village on the lakeshore.
I long to be there already. See you, Geralt. Oh, I might also have changed your hair colour while I was at it. I've always fancied dark-haired men. Oh well, any port in a storm. I need neither your permission nor your blessing. Get out. I put in an order for a few substances from Novigrad. The trader was due to be here yesterday, but has yet to arrive. I shall cross the Pontar, and that means Radovid's men will find me sooner or later. Don't you understand? I don't have a choice. I will have to parley. I shall give you herbs. Mix them with water drawn from the spring at midnight, then make the cow drink them. But first you must clean out your barn. Thoroughly. Is that clear? I shall let you keep it afterwards in appreciation. You'll find it quite useful, I'm sure. I shall tell you everything now, of course. I started off heading in the opposite direction, but then turned around. I thought you were a better horseman. I tried to go to Fyke Isle once. Thought my head would burst, the curse's magic was so strong. I was wondering how long it would take you, Geralt. I wonder how long ago that was. I wonder what all this means. They look hastily scribbled on with lime. I would have given anything for an opportunity to study his notes, but he guarded them jealously. I would rather show you, but you must wait a bit. I'd love to shrug it off as the nattering of so many old women, yet I'd rather teleport us home. Do you really mean to follow them? If Alexander's findings were to fall into the wrong hands, if I can find it, that is, will you help? If I'm to die today, I wish to look smashing for the occasion. If I've my knickers on straight, this looks like the elves' laboratory.
I'll do it! Just cover me!
I'll not give you these notes. I'll not give you anything. I'll wait for you here. I'm certain I haven't. But recently someone asked me about an ashen-haired woman. He claimed she would stand out from the peasant crowd. I'm glad I could help, but I shall leave as soon as Lambert feels better. I'm going to see Radovid, tell him of this research, whether you like it or not. I'm in hiding, Geralt. Blind to the state of the world? Don't you see what's happening? I'm not, the local peasantry is. The Isle, miss, you've got to lift the charm. You're a good witch, a great witch. There's no end to it. I'm so pleased the world's still able to astound you, Geralt. I actually envy you that sense of wonder. Common in children, knights-errant, and morons. I'm sorry for getting ahead of myself. At times I forget. I'm sorry for your loss, Geralt.
I'm upstairs. Don't be shy.
Imagined it. How it will transpire. What will she say? What will she look like? In that case, I shall be waiting. In that case, we'll meet there. I'll await you near the cave entrance. In theory, it's just as possible for a dachshund to impregnate a she-wolf. Indeed, it is what the elves would title Ciri. But what was the bit about the sign of her sword, a riddle? Is it a headache, or does the problem lie elsewhere in your anatomy? Is that so? Nice to hear. But is there any particular reason you're telling me this? It mentions the village witches venturing into Crookback Bog at times to liaise between the villagers and the crones, the ladies of the wood. It was an elf, this individual who asked about Cirilla. No flea-bitten Scoia'tael slob either, but an elven mage. It worked! It worked! Come! It worked! It works just like a megascope, but is far more portable. It'll pass. That took a great deal of power. It's a long way, well beyond the dividing line. But if I keep to the woods until I reach the Kestrel Mountains, I should pass through unnoticed. It's an illusion. I sensed it as well. It's good to see you again. It's grown awfully quiet. It's no concern of yours. It's nothing to sneeze at. But you've a knack for getting into trouble. I should probably ask for something more immediately deliverable. I've a bad feeling about this. I've always seen you as an example of the latter. Besides, I've a favour to ask you. So, visit me sometime? I've an idea, but I need a witcher to help me see it through. Lambert has agreed to assist me. I've never met them, but I've read of them. In an old manuscript I found in one of the huts in the village. I've nothing on me. But I'll think of something. I've some very good feelings about you, for instance. In several domains. I've unfinished business with this elf. He promised me something, but he never delivered it. I've wanted to many times. But I've no way of knowing who would answer, or who might be listening. Kelpie? Does he mean that sea monster? Know the fairy tale about Cinderella? Know what they call that constellation in Zerrikania? Lamp. The elf promised it to me in exchange for my help, and since his return here seems doubtful, I must retrieve it myself.
Last one there does the dishes.
Later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Well, go on, out. Leave it to me.
Leave my dresser alone.
Let me think. Enjoying the country air? Admiring the unspoilt scenery? Or is it furthering the age-old alliance between the city and its breadbasket? No. Let's go. Long enough for rot to set in. You cannot possibly imagine how much I detest this place. Look, the elf left another message for Ciri. Look, it worked.
Look, they're opening.
Look, we've managed to cross the bridge. This is where we saw the wild hunt. Look, it's rather similar to that other pillar with the projection. Looks like another damned riddle to me. May I be honest? Had I known what would happen here, I'd never have come anywhere near Kaer Morhen. Meaning he knew they were looking for him. More or less. Well, we've chatted long enough on empty stomachs. Let's dig in. More so than Velen, but that's hardly an achievement. Much safer than an ordinary letter, which anyone can intercept en route to its recipient.
Must you touch everything?
My feminine intuition.
My intuition's a fine instrument, Witcher. Don't underestimate it. My rate rises with every word you speak. I'm not sure you can afford the information anymore. Naturally, you suspect me of the worst. I don't deserve that. My intentions are pure, like a virgin's tears. Nature stinks. Never expected you'd take such an interest in my private life. No, but he asked that were I to meet her, I should lead her to him. No, it has a different name. A bit indecent, actually. Lean closer and I'll whisper it in your ear. No. I shall transform our rancid rags into something more glamorous. No. I was hoping the elf would return as he'd promised, or else his waif would appear. At any rate, I've no idea what to expect from this place. No, strictly selfish ones. No, that is all. No, a morphotic projection. None. We can't know too much about one another these days. It's safer that way. Not so fast, Geralt. No humble plea, no offering for the witch. I'm not sure I like any of this. Not the slightest. Not too long, I trust. If you've any questions, note that I said almost. Now don't interrupt. Nothing important. I'll explain later. Now tell me, to what do I owe the pleasure? Now, in your firm embrace, not on your life. Now to return to the fairy tale. I'd like to escape these ghastly swamps for one magical night. I don't need a fairy godmother. I'll cast the spells myself. Now, close your eyes and count to 10. Now do you see why I needed those substances? Of course, provided you take my magic lamp with you. Of course. They didn't read you bedtime stories at Kaer Morhen. All normal folk know that witches live in gingerbread houses poised atop chicken legs. Of course. The elven mage prepared this passage for Ciri. Come on now. Of course I can. Best of luck to you. Of course we did. The entrance is very well protected. I'd never have found it from the outside.
Anything for a hot bath.
Oh, changed your mind, have you?
Oh, Geralt. You're so old-fashioned.
Oh, Geralt. Shame you didn't talk that way when we fucked.
Oh, go already. I can't wait to see what you discover on Kyle. Just be sure to come and see me afterwards. And, Geralt.
Oh, of course not. I understand perfectly well that you had valid, important reasons for leaving me in an underground cavern all by myself. Oh, please. I merely seized an opportunity. Oh, poor boy. Still, he's proved that true love may be more common than some suppose.
Oh, sod it, don't give me that look. I know it's Ciri we're talking about.
Oh, you're definitely no boy. You're a strong, poised witcher who will surely help a woman in need.
Oh, really?
Who?
Oh, very well. Let's go. Once you finally find Ciri, what will you do? Any plans?
One night I decided to enter the dream consciously. Render it lucid. I confronted the thing directly. It broke contact at once. Peaceful nights ever since.
One way only, I'm afraid. You'll have to trust my feminine intuition.
Only that they were to meet in Velen. He wished to know if she'd arrived before he did.
Anything like that ever happened to you before?
Over here! Perhaps because the wild hunt was on the elf's trail, and Ciri would be safer if they did. Perhaps, if you were to help me first, perhaps it's a monument to her. Perhaps it's best he didn't leave a clearer message. The wild hunt broke in here, surely they saw the projection. Perhaps you'd stay just a bit longer? There's one small favour you might yet do for me. Perhaps the elven mage is Lara's kin. It would explain why he's helping Ciri.
Perhaps these apparitions believe they are real.
Perish! Someone's been feeding you horse shit. The girls around here are too stupid to quarrel with me. Please, I manage. You know, a dozen eggs here, a cock or gander there. Besides, my finances are about to improve. Prepared to help after all? Provided rot hasn't eaten it, as it seems to eat everything here. Radovid and Emma differ in every respect except one. They share a deep hatred of the Lodge of Sorceresses. And I was a member. Ready. Stay close. Ready. Follow me. Really? Then close your eyes and count to 10. Scraps. The curse is somehow linked to the tower where Serard, the lord of these lands, took refuge when Nilfgaard invaded.
Search it thoroughly.
See this? Bedbugs, Geralt, bloody bedbugs. I, Keira Metz, advisor to Foltest, a member of the Lodge of Sorceresses, have bedbugs. Shall I pour the white or the... She did indeed. I gather you'd like a look. Shove your sarcasm up your arse. Show me. Shut up and draw your sword. Shut up for a moment and look at me. Simple, isn't it? So, what do you think? Neckline too modest? So, will you please help me lift this curse? You're so good at these things. So be it. Seems I find it hard to refuse you, handsome. You've clearly a notion of what women want, how they think. So it ended well. So what? Something akin to a postbox for mages. Splendid. Come then. Splendid. I can finally begin my study of double arboreal racination patterns. But first I'll...
Splendid. I shall contact you again soon.
Stand at my side.
Stop it, that's emotional blackmail.
Stop telling me what to do.
Take my boat. I left it on the lake shore near the village. Should be fit to use.
Take the tome and read it. I truly do believe you'll find your Cirilla.
Terrible idea.
What happened?
Thank you. Thank you. I shall be ever so grateful. That is all I ask. That's him. That's the elf. That's very good. Because boars are much better in bed. That's what I don't know. I must break this spell, yet I've been unable to identify its source. The crones appear to be intolerant of outsiders, but they help the local folk. Apparently, they stop the spread of the plague in Velen. The Eye of Nahalani. It dispels illusions. It's easy enough to build, so you're welcome to this one. It's bound to come in handy. The first to light his fire dared not march on the end. The second, by the first, played a woeful lament. The fourth marched not beside the first, yet like the second played a tune. And thus they stood o'er their queen, who slept beneath flickering stars.
The girl crossed half the world to get here. Care to tell me what this is about? The local peasants mumble incessantly about it, about the wraiths that haunt it. They claim none who go there return. The mighty would pay willingly for such a remedy. Can you imagine how much? Take Radovid, for instance. Why, he might even consider forgetting my past associations with the lodge. The point is, listen, I didn't flee to these wilds just to stupidly get caught because some boar with grit under his fingernails grows annoyed with me. The potion I gave him. Seems he saw a use for it. Drank it. The rats, why did he need them? The second, beside the first, played a woeful lament. The third kept close to his faithful beast. The sooner we can leave, the better. The spell has a 66.67% chance of success. I always use one more than I need, just in case. The swamps are vast, dangerous, but they say the crones mark the way for peasants who wish to visit them. The manuscript mentions a chapel in Crookback Bog, and from that chapel one must follow a trail of treats. The third kept close to his faithful beast. The fourth marched not beside the first, yet, like the second, played a tune. The villagers say he had them poisoned. Then hold on tight. Then shoo, outside. Then you shall stay here forever.
Then you've not reached the highest level. Look for a passage.
There are times when a woman should simply not explain her decision. That goes doubly for sorceresses. There it goes. There must be another entrance. I'd bet more than coin on it. The elven maid surely had some sort of a shortcut. There you are, at last. There's no guarantee the wild hunt is going the right way. There's nothing wrong with it. There's something here. Something that distorts teleportation. I've no idea how they managed to get to the other side problem-free. They can have 3 helmsmen and a parrot for all I care. I'll not risk that again. They destroyed the mage's sentries. They didn't come here for a friendly chat with the elf. They truly did leave you heartless. Get out of my sight. They'd respect anyone who could produce hemorrhoid cream. They're too far. We must get closer. I shall shield us with Demetia Crest Surge. Think of it as a magic box that talks. Think what you will, but I'll not stay in this bloody swamp one day more, not one day. This is the place. Thought it was part of the lamp at first. Didn't realise what I'd actually found until later. Thought you were in a hurry. Throughout my first fortnight in Velen, I had horrible nightmares. Something was calling me out into the swamps. Turn around and wait. Ugh! It's disgusting! I'm sorry. Such a gloomy subject to broach. I simply shouldn't have, not during our romantic dinner. Geralt, run to the woods and fetch my shopping. I'd like to make dinner. Well, would you have helped? I knew we shouldn't have had that wine before dinner. Uh-oh. Seems we did something wrong. Unbelievable. Have you even been listening to me? Use a sign or bombs, anything! Very well, have it your way. How did I ever let you talk me into this ridiculous expedition? Very well, let's move on. Perhaps we'll come across some clues, some trace left by this elf. Wait, there's still the magic lamp. Wait. Something just happened. We must activate it quickly. I've a feeling another golem's about to surprise us. We must close them! We must try to activate it. We traded for it. He needed powerful magic and sensed I was no common wart charmer. We were friends. Sadly, he died that day as well. Very few survived. Well, I tried to ask him, of course, about everything. Well, now I know what distorted my effort at teleportation. This very portal. Well, off we go. Dinner's waiting. Well, the spirits who wander the Isle, you must establish a rapport with them. Don't know how, but they could point us in the direction of the curse's source. Oh, we had little in common in that arena. Oh, Alexander was one of those anxious experimenters, forever short on sleep. The kind that thinks perfect happiness is an isolated tower and a full set of vials and alembics. Well, we know they were well acquainted and travelling together. Well, never took you for a wine connoisseur. Well, yes, but then I'd not have invited you here. Well, you believe Yennefer will stop treating you like a dog someday. Don't see me laughing. Well, coming? Well then, let's go. Do you think following the swallows will suffice? We're certain to find something here. We're done talking, Geralt. Get out of my sight. We're even now. What? Phantom Riders? That means... I thought they didn't exist.
What?
What are you doing here?
What are you talking about?
What did you say? There's some interference. You must be very careful.
What is this? What of it? What difference will it make if Nilfgaard's legions die by steel or because of some fucking germs? None.
What was that? It sounded for a moment like you joined the race yourself.
Whatever do you mean?
Where?
Where are you? Have you got to the laboratory at the top of the tower yet?
Oh, at last. But it was worth it, right? You learned something about Ciri in the end. Something important.
I'm beginning to think we might make it. Thank you. Whose grave is it? What do you think? No inscription, sadly. Why, I aim to use them to continue important work that a man's tragic death put on hold. Why do we even come?
Will you at least lie down and gaze at the stars with me?
Witch hunters. Sound familiar? Murderers scouring the north from end to end, burning books, hanging soothsayers, torturing herbalists.
Women only ever beautify themselves for their own satisfaction.
Yen won't either when I tell her. Or Triss. Sorry, lost track of who you're currently obsessed with.
Yennefer was right. You do have some notion of what women want, how they think.
Yes, he said he found a hideout in some elven ruins near the village of Midcopse. I'll go there with you.
Yes, let's.
Yes, thanks for asking. How are you feeling? Sleep well?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Radovid's new pastime. Pursuing anyone with a whiff of magic about them.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. So stop lecturing me and leave me alone. Farewell and a pleasant journey to you.
Yes, a return to the living.
Yes, and you? Come to ask my help again?
Yes, but you weren't interested.
Yes.
And?
Yet even those who escaped the Isle soon suffered agonising deaths. Strangely, they did not seem to have been poisoned. You? I'd be concerned for myself. You believe I'd be safe there?
You can't leave me here.
You heard wrong. It's princes who get turned into frogs. It could happen to a witcher just as easily, so get out of my sight.
You just witnessed why. To communicate with lost souls.
You know, can you defeat yourself? Are you willing to? You know where to find me? You needn't even rub. Just place it where you find bones and hear whispers. I suppose I should warn you, it might not be the most pleasant experience.
You should be pleased you emerged from the portal in one piece.
You tend to the monsters, I'll be able to keep them away from me.
You think so? Thank you.
You were foolish to cross me! You were supposed to help me! Geralt! You will tell me what you see, and I shall tell you what to do and look for.
You'd never have managed without me, would you? Come now, admit it.
You'll need to do neither. I'll give you a Xenovox. It's a bauble that will let us speak over some distance. You'll regret that!
You're up to something, Geralt. If I'm to help you, you must tell me what's going on. Who are you looking for? You've been patient, thank you. It's almost ready.